to video 3 of our series on resources and the raven. So we've already talked about where do things come from? The once upon a time. We talked about what are natural resources, and we're able to match many things that we see around our home or in our classroom to things that come from our planet. But are all natural resources just for us? Are we the only people on this planet? No, we really should be sharing with animals, plants, every single thing. We're all part of this big puzzle called the Earth. Let's think of it this way. If I was coming into a classroom and I had 50 cookies and gave 49 to one person, and the rest of the people had to fight over that one little piece, would that be fair? No. We want to be fair and try to figure out, are we using too many natural resources, and how can we make it a little bit less so it's fair for everyone? What could we do? Let's ask Reed. Reed, what could we do? What are things that we can do to make sure that we aren't throwing away natural resources and possibly using a little bit less of them? What do you think? We can use the R's. Sometimes people call them the 3 R's. We can recycle, we can reuse, and we can reduce. Let's go through a few examples. So let's start talking about the first R, which is recycling. So Ree has gone and collected some of the items in my pile of objects are things that can be recycled at your home or at your school. So these are things like paper products, cardboard and newspapers. These can be put into our recycling containers. We can put our glass in recycling. Sometimes you have to put it to the side so it's a little safer for the garbage haulers. We can put our metal items like these that can be put into our recycling. And we can also put in our plastics, like round tubs. They're rather large, and our bottles. These can actually also go to the bottle drop here in Oregon. Now, do you want to see what happens when we take things like the glass to a recycling facility? What they're going to do is they're going to heat it up really high. This almost looks like lava. Then they can pour it into these containers and they can reform it into a different form. So what used to be a jam jar could now be a soda bottle. For our metal, that would have to go to a different place. And just like with the glass, they're going to heat it up really hot, and then they sort of push it out in these really long lines. And as it cools down, it almost looks like giant toilet paper rolls. But when they need to make more cans, they can go take that, put it back into a machine, and reform it into a new can. Now, you notice in both of those examples, there was a lot of energy that went into that process. So let's see if we can think beyond recycling. What was the next R? Reuse. Yeah, I have an example that I found around my house. Now I have this cute little bear. I've had it for a very long time, but as Ree and I were looking around, we did notice it has a hole now, which means it's probably going to start leaking all that puff all over the place. Really makes a mess. So a lot of times things like this end up in the garbage. But what can I do so I don't have to throw it away? Goodness, that's one of the secret R's. You want to know what it is? Repair. So yes, I could either sew it myself, or if I don't know how to sew, I could find someone like at a fix-it fair or in our neighborhood and say, I need to have this fixed so that it can be reused and loved. So that's one thing we can do with our reuse. So now we can get to the third reduce. Now, if you remember from the first video, in the beginning, I had to sneeze. And so I quickly grab one Kleenex. Now, sometimes I have accidentally grabbed a whole ton of them. Oh, just blow my nose. Was that really necessary? No. So I think I could try to reduce the amount of Kleenexes I use by just grabbing one, making sure that's okay. And that way I'm not wasting all of this natural resources, which this is probably coming from a tree. Yes, so by reducing the amount of Kleenex I'm using, just enough, I'm reducing how many natural resources I'm using. So we've talked about the 4 R's. We had our recycle, we had our reuse and repair, and our final one was reduce. What other words can you come up with? At the end of this video, try to talk with your adult or someone in your family and write down a few words that you can share with me in the next video. Ready to go?